So our next question is how to deal with the feeling that you're approaching death.
So, Zainab and I have both worked for a number of years with people who are dying, and it's definitely not a one size fits all. I'm going to talk about some of the things that different people I've worked with have found helpful, and it really does vary. Some people, we spend quite a lot of time talking about their beliefs, whether that's a religious faith, spiritual beliefs. I worked with someone recently who talked a lot about energy and how they think that works. And it's important to think about, what do you think happens when someone dies? What does that mean to you? What about people you've lost? And what happens to those connections? Just understanding people's own internal working models. And I think us taking a moment to think about our own when we're in this position is important. Some people really like to understand the process in quite granular detail. They want to know step by step exactly what is going to happen to their body. And that can give people a sense of control, or maybe not control, but a sense of comfort that it's predictable. They know what's going to happen. And they know that when this happens, this next part is likely to follow quite quickly. And they feel like they can visualize it, and that can bring some comfort. Planning the death. Some people quite like to have a bit of a plan, much like some people like to have a birth plan. Um, People like to think about what music they would like playing, who they would like to be there, where they would like this to happen, home, in a hospice, in hospital. It's important to think about choice and agency in the planning, whilst recognizing, trying to keep some flexibility present, because we can't always control exactly how things happen, but thinking about the process can be helpful. And I remember someone years ago saying that she wanted her sister to be painting her nails, and that felt really important. And actually telling loved ones what you want or what your vision is, it can really help them have a sense of what they can do, because loved ones can often feel quite powerless and helpless, and they don't want to get it wrong, but they don't know what to do to actually be effective and useful to the person they love. Um, Legacy. Some people really like to think about their legacy. They want to think about the conversations that are important to have with their loved ones. They might want to write letters for after they've passed away. They might want to create artwork with with their loved ones. There's something about what they're leaving behind that really matters. For some other people, they want to use their time to plan a holiday that they'll never take, and that's a happier place for them to exist in. Um, for a lot of people, I do try to bring into the room the fact that they're alive right now. None of us know how long we've got on the planet. How do we want to spend our time? What's really important? What really matters to that person? Because right now they are alive, and let's think about how to use that time. For me, the priority, usually, I patient focused and go with what someone wants in talking therapy. But one of the things that's certainly on my agenda is trying to address anxiety and distress around dying. And if you can reduce that, if you can reduce the distress, if you can take the power out of any fear that's present, that's quite a good place to start.
And I feel like, as I'm reflecting on what you're saying, Claire, I feel like even in the idea of approaching death or the sense that you might be approaching death or death being part of the conversation, we are very human and we need the same human things that we've always needed: reassurance, grounding, comfort, soothing, even predictability. What will happen to me? How will it happen? And who will it happen with? And I, for one, find comfort in the fact that it isn't out of our complete and utter existence, this idea of death, that we are still human even in the face of death. So thank you, Claire.
Yeah, and as you said that, it made me think about your communication, what you were saying about communication earlier. I think a lot of people, certainly a lot of the patients who come through our service, when they are going through cancer, a few months in, they'll say that their friends have dropped away. And it's a lot of people this happens with. And we've tried to make sense of this in terms of, I think people often think, oh, I don't want to intrude. It's a very private time. It's a time of intensity for you. I don't want to encroach on that, or I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't know what my proximity is to you actually in terms of how significant and salient our friendship is. So I don't know how to position myself in this. I think there's a lot of uncertainty for loved ones. And when it comes to death and dying, it's a real hot potato. And I've noticed through the work I do, and also just being a human on the planet, losing people, seeing how people react to those losses, that it's a conversation a lot of loved ones back away from, or meet with denial, or I think a lot of people want to feel like they can solve a problem. And everyone's intentions here are good. But if this is a platform right now, what we're doing here to reach loved ones of people who have cancer, I would say don't be afraid to ask someone, are you thinking about dying? Are you scared of dying? Is dying something you're worrying about? Because even if someone isn't dying, even if they are cured, they're being treated with curative intent, they are not expecting this to limit their life in any way. Death is still in the realm the second you get any diagnosis that threatens your life. It's present. It's worth addressing with someone, or just giving them the opportunity to name something. Because when something is unnameable, and this goes back to conversations with children as well, if you deny someone language and words to just hear themselves say out loud what they're scared of, or something that's been present in their mind that feels unnameable, once you write it down, once you say it out loud, you're halfway there, because the power's taken out of it, and you can actually, it can be connected to with someone else. It can be held together with someone else. It can be shared. So I would encourage anyone watching this who is a loved one to take a relational risk that person maybe having a big emotional response, and take a chance and let them know that you're there to have that conversation. You can contain that conversation with them if you do feel able to do that.
Thank you both so much. I just want to say a massive thank you really for being part of this conversation today. We're so grateful for all of the insight and advice you've shared with us and our community. For those listening today, thank you for being here. We hope you found the conversation helpful and have found things to take away that might help you in the future. If you'd like to speak to someone or have any questions, you can also contact our support line on 0808 802 6000. Thanks again for joining us.